Today, we discuss one of the most critical components of IoT systems, that is communication protocols. IoT is not just about sensors and microcontrollers. The real power of IoT lies in how devices communicate with each other and also with the cloud. Think of a protocol as a languages that devices use to talk. If devices don't speak the same language, data exchange files fails. We will explore how different protocols serve different needs, from tiny sensors to complex cloud applications. Let's start by looking at the overall architecture of IoT communication. As you see, the four-layer IoT architecture is there. First one is application layer, then transportation layer or transport layer, next network layer, and last is perception or physical layer. So in the first, we just have the perception layer. This is where data originates, includes sensors like temperature, humidity, gas, motion, actuators like motors, relays, valves, and physical communication like Zigbee, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. Second one is network layer. It is responsible for routing and addressing protocols like IPv6, LoRaWAN, RPL, etc. Third one, we have transportation layer. It ensures reliable delivery. It includes TCP and UDP. TCP, reliable but slower. UDP is faster but unreliable. And the last, we have application layer where IoT specific protocols works like MQTT, HTTP, AMQP. To truly grasp IoT protocols, we first need to understand the layered architecture. Just like the IoT model, IoT uses a structured approach to manage complexity. The perception layer is where device gather data. The network layer moves it across distances, and the transportation layer ensures reliability or reliable delivery. And the application layer makes sense of it all. Each layer has specific protocols, as we already discussed. Now let's zoom in on the application layer, starting with the most popular protocol, that is MQTT. It stands for Message Queuing Telemetry Transportation. It uses a publish subscribe model, which is a game changer of efficiency. Instead of direct request, devices publish data to a central broker, as you see in the picture also, and any subscribed device instantly receive it. This make it incredibly lightweight and perfect for devices with limited power and bandwidth. It is why MQTT is the standard for many IoT applications. But what if you need something more like a web experience for your devices? Let's compare MQTT to another or other application layer protocols. Let's move to the next slide. As you see, we have another protocols like HTTPs. So while MQTT excel in publish, subscribe, sometimes you need a more traditional request response model. But for tiny devices, that's that is where CoAP comes in. HTTP comes in. CoAP stands for Constrained Application Protocol. HTTP is the backbone of the web, but if it is heavy for IoT applications, there are some issues with HTTP protocol like large headers, TCP handshake, high power consumption. In the case of constrained application protocol, it is designed for low power devices, constrained memory, machine to machine communication. Basically, it uses EDP, binary format, smaller packet size. When and where to use. So, in the case of we use HTTP for web data dashboards. If you are just need to publish your data on a data dashboard, you just need to go with HTTP protocol. And we use constrained application protocols for sensor to server communication. There is another AMQP protocol is also there, is more enterprise focused with reliability. AMQP stands for Advanced Message Queuing Protocol. It is used for enterprise grade level only. So now we move to the next slide. What is TCP and UDP? And we just compare its reliability and speed. Transport layer decision is critical. TCP connects, it maintains connection oriented, reliable delivery, packet retransmission, higher overhead. Used in TCP protocol used in MQTT, HTTP, AMQP. And the UDP, there is no handshake, faster transmission, no retransmission is there in the case of UDP protocol, lower overhead. So as you see in the diagram also, TCP stands for transmission control and UDP stands for user datagram, not diagram. UDP used in constrained application protocols and for real-time streaming of data. Okay. If losing data is unacceptable, then we just go with TCP protocol. If speed and low latency matters, then we go with the UDP protocol, that is user datagram protocol. Now we move to the next data communication protocol that is used for short range connectivities like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. These are short range wireless protocols. In the case of Wi-Fi, high data rates are there. It is in megabytes per bits per seconds to gigabits per second. High power consumption are there, suitable for cameras and gateways. Wi-Fi protocol, as we have some standards also with us, IEEE 802.11. On the other side, we have Bluetooth low energy protocols, ultra low power. It takes small data packets. It will send, suitable for wearable devices. Like if you just need to connect your smartphone with your smart watch. Battery life up to years. The selection depends on different points like data requirement, power availability, device mobility. Next, we move to the another protocol, that is Zigbee, the power of mesh. In the case, it follow IEEE 802.15.4 standard for low power wireless networks. Zigbee have some main advantage like mesh topology. Every device can forward data. There are benefits like self-healing networks, increased coverage, improved reliability. Some typical specifications like 250 kilobits per second data rate, 10 to 100 meter range is there in the case of Zigbee. Low power consumption. It is used in smart lighting, home automation, industrial control applications. Next, we move to the long range communication that is also known as LoRaWAN. Next, move to the next slide. LoRaWAN. It is also called long range low power wide area network technology. It is based on, it is designed for long range up to 5 to 15 kilometers. Ultra low data rate, in this case, very low power consumption. The architecture of LoRaWAN depends on like end device to gateway to network server, and then it moved to the cloud, as you see in the diagram also. It is best suited for smart agriculture applications, water level monitoring, remote environmental sensing. Devices can run for 10 years on a battery. You just see the features of LoRaWAN, as you see. Next, we move to the next communication protocol that is very common in our daily life, that is cellular IoT or narrowband IoT and LTEM, also called CAT M1. Uses existing cellular network infrastructure that is available nearby. So, narrowband IoT includes low bandwidth, good indoor penetration, stationary devices, you just connect with it, smart meters, you just connect. Especially narrowband IoT and LTEM becomes crucial nowadays. These technologies leverage existing cellular networks, so you get coverage almost anywhere, because all other protocols, communication protocols, have its advantage and disadvantage in terms of coverage. Narrowband IoT is a fantastic, or you can say NB IoT is a fantastic for stationary sensors that need to send small amount of data and have great indoor penetration, like smart meters. LTEM, however, is better for mobile assets because it supports higher data rates and can handle devices moving between cell tower from one tower to another tower. It is about choosing the right cellular flavor for your specific IoT application. Now we move to the next slide. There is a comparison between different communication protocols. As you see, this slide summarizes everything when selecting protocol and how to evaluate. It is based on range, what range you require, power consumption, data rates, how much data you just need to send, at what speed you just need to send, and the infrastructure requirement, and the main factor, the cost. There is no universal best protocol. Engineering decisions depends on application constraints only. There are some industry applications related to these protocols also, like smart agriculture, smart health, smart cities, industrial IoT. Engineering is about selecting the right tool for the right problem. So this is the tagline. You can say just selecting the right tool for the right problem, not the right problem for the problem. So next we move to the last slide, summary or key takes away. IoT uses layered architecture. MQTT dominates cloud messaging. Constrained application protocol is optimized for constrained devices. TCP and UDP is reliability versus speed decision. If you need reliability, then we go with the TCP protocol. If you just need the speed, then we go with the UDP protocol. Zigbee uses mesh topology, and the LoRaWAN supports long range, low power. Before ending, always remember protocol selection is equal to trade off analysis. So there are some questions also, as you see. Which protocol uses a publish subscribe model? So MQTT protocol is there. Which topology is Zigbee famous for? It is for mesh topology. Which is the best for long range? It is more than 10 plus kilometer monitoring. That is LoRaWAN. So thank you all. So again, I just repeat the line, the right tool for the problem. This is the tagline for today's lecture. Thank you.